Oh boy. Oh man. What is up, YouTube adventure family? Today in the middle of the Colorado Rockies, it is gorgeous out, and what a gorgeous day to go out on a ride on our favorite toys. Check it out, the lineup today. We're going to talk about different voltage on our e-bikes, and we're going to talk about not only the voltage, but kind of what you should get for your situation and where you live. And we're going to talk a little bit about the legalities. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to give you advice, but we're going to talk a little bit about it. And we are going to discuss a little bit in depth about maybe what you should and shouldn't get. But check it out right here. 48 volt, the Rave Bullet X. Probably my most used bike actually overall. Then we've got the 52 volt, the Rave GTX, which really is kind of my go-to bike, if you know what I mean. And now we've got the GOAT Power Bikes Power GOAT, which is going to be my hauler, my camper, my workhorse, and some big time adventures. And that is a 60 volt. All these bikes have a purpose to me. I don't have just one bike to do everything. All these bikes serve a purpose, and what we're going to discuss today is what bike you need for your purpose, or what bikes do you need for your purpose, because as we see these deals and these manufacturers coming through, these bikes are incredibly affordable, you know, coming in at this one right here, I believe is right now, is coming in at $13.99. And then with my discount code in the link below, you'll get even more off of that. And then right here, I believe this one's coming in at $18.99 for the one that I ordered, the 52 volt 20 amp version. And then I added the 52 volt amp in that one. The 28 amp version is coming in at $23.99. And then we got the GOAT Power Bikes Power GOAT coming in, I believe, at $23.99, $22.99. And I'll have a link in my discount code below as well on these bikes. But like I'm saying, all these bikes have a purpose. The 48 volt, the 52 volt, the 60 volt. And I'm going to take a ride, and we're going to discuss a little bit on the ride, and we're going to ride up to Vail, Colorado, just right up that way. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ride and beautiful views. They got the bike path open, and we're going to discuss more in depth about the differences between 48, 52, 60 volt, and on up, and even maybe discuss a little bit about 36 volt, because we do have 72 volt, we do have 36 volts still out there in the market, are the 36 volts. And of course, with your Surons, your Talarias, your E-Ride, all these bikes coming out there, dirt bikes with 72 volts, even more impressive and more fun. And they serve a purpose as well too. But we're going to talk about these three main bikes, because these are the three that you're mainly going to see on the road, are your 48, 52, and 60 volts. And today we're going to hop on the Rave Bullet GTX, and we're going to zip up to Vail and talk more about what you should get, or what bikes you should get. Let's go. Oh, what a beautiful day to head out on this thing. And this is like, to me, I don't know, I just think it's doggone the most perfect bike ever, honestly. Oh man, it's just got the 52 volts, so you're in the middle of the power grid there, with between the 48, the 52, and the 60. And then right now I've just got 28 amp hours of battery on here, so range anxiety is just not a thing, and it's a good bike to take out on a cruise and just chat around, because I can go basically anywhere I want to go. All right, so here we are. Whew, Colorado, beautiful sunny day. This is just like, seriously, just the goodest, best thing ever. It is warm too. Finally getting that warm weather in. We had snow last week. It was freaking crazy. All right. Here we go. So we're going to cruise on through and head on up a valley here. So, as we were discussing with the opening, we're going to discuss the different voltage bikes because there's just a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions about e-bikes, and one of the most are the voltage ones and battery amp hour ones and motor wattage ones. So I get like a ton of questions about these little e-bikes. All right, so we're going to start off with the bottom up, and I'm briefly just going to talk about the bottom. We're talking about the 36 volt, usually a foldable, portable rental bike. It's the one that you'll see in the cities that are sitting in the racks and you rent them a lot of the times. Those will be your 36 volt, pedal assist only, not really a throttle, class 1 type e-bike. All right. Now, what are those good for? Those are good if you live in a retirement community. Those are good for rental companies, I guess. Cheap parts to replace. Low risk. They don't go more than like usually 15 to 20 miles an hour. And you can only pedal them, there's no throttle. Or an elderly person, really. Or a smaller version for like maybe a kid if they make a smaller frame or whatever. So that's basically where I'm going with this 36 volt. It's for very low speeds and just super safe, I guess, is kind of that category. So that's your 36 volt, you know, and a lot of times that is like a foldable bike that a lot of these people will take camping. And, you know, they have their purpose. They have their niche or whatever. There's a lot of them still being made probably. But I just don't see a lot of them where I am just because there's just too many hills in that bike, really, just besides the rental ones here and maybe the occasional elderly person going down the road I even see those. So that's the 36 volt. So the end of the 36 volt. Now we're getting into more of like where I enjoy talking about, and that is the 48 volt, which honestly is one of the most used e-bike voltage there is, and it's safe and it's good and you can take it anywhere, and it's, you know, you get into that class 2, class 3, you know, like at 36 volt you get into class 1, some class 2 maybe. But with that 48 volt, this gives you just that little bit more power. And a lot of times with these 48 volt, you're at least going to get like a 13 amp hour battery, you know, which is going to be an upgrade from the 36 volt. You're going to get a, you know, sometimes up to a 25, 28 amp hour battery, depending. Like right now, Rave has the new XF. They have the Bullet X and the Bullet, but now they got the Bullet XF. Check this out. Dual batteries. And no range anxiety. And that just makes all the difference in the world, is not having range anxiety when you get into these e-bikes for a number of reasons. And this, I want to explain why when you start getting into these 48 volt systems, you at least get a 13 amp hour battery. Because even with a 13 amp hour battery and a 48 volt system, you could still get 20 miles. 18 to 20 miles throttle only, really. And that's a good distance if you're just going around town, grabbing coffee, running errands, going to the post office, grabbing some groceries at the grocery store. You can make a couple trips between charges, you know. So it's not a big deal, but when you start getting at 20, 25 amp hour, I just like going under 15 around people. When you start getting into that 20, 25, and even 28 amp hour range, and with that XF right now, you're getting 26 amp hours, you're not having any range anxiety. I mean, you're looking at easily 35, 40 miles throttle only on that bike. And I mean, I travel long distances, like one way usually is 7 to 9 miles with, you know, what I do. So having something that at least does 20 miles is super uber duper important. So having a 13 amp hour battery, I could put it in like mode 2, do some pedal assist, and, you know, easily get to where I need to get to with a 48 volt system and a decent battery. Now, with these batteries and these voltage systems and stuff, you know, really stick with these UL batteries and these like batteries that are really, you know, go through like some tests and procedures to make sure that these are safe. You know, these bigger companies like Rave and, you know, Electric and, you know, Juiced and Goat Power, you know, Goat Power bikes. These companies, check out the kayakers. I probably know these cats too. Heck yeah. Check that out. I've paddled this stretch many times. Very cool. Very cool. I love that dagger, that color on the dagger. I had daggers, both those colors actually. Anyways, the Eagle River is gorgeous. But not having range anxiety, getting bigger batteries is a huge suggestion. My suggestion is this. When getting a 48 amp hour or a 48 volt bike, at least get a 13 amp hour battery, okay? My suggestion though is to get something that's at least 1920. And if you can, get something 25 and up. And I mean, just in between like charges is not only awesome if you want to go like long range, you know, just to have that, but in between charges, you're charging those batteries less and the batteries are going to last longer. And the thing that goes out the quickest on these bikes, and I'm going to tell you this right now, I bet 3,000 miles a year on a bike. And that could be 2 bikes. But each bike I could put 3,000 miles on. So I'm telling you right now, the first thing that starts going down is the battery. They start losing power and start sagging. And it's because every time you charge it, every time you drain it, that battery only has so many drains in it. Just like they say in football. Running backs only have so many runs in them. And the reason I can say that is because my brother-in-law played in the SEC as a running back. And it's the same thing with e-bikes and their batteries. And these batteries only have so many charges in them. So just keep that in mind. The bigger the battery, the less charges, the longer your bike's going to last, because that is usually the first thing that goes in these e-bikes. Besides the regular maintenance, like tires and brake pads and, you know, that kind of stuff. But, you know, the battery's usually going to go way before your motor's going to go, and way before your controller's going to go, and way before your display's going to go, or your lights are going to go, or battery's going to go. So the less charges, longer batteries. So there's another thing when you think about investing. It's not only range anxiety, it's less charges, longer lasting batteries, longer lasting e-bike. Hope that explains some things. I can go mode 3 up here. Mode 3, it just kicks right up the hill. That's why I like having these different modes on these bikes, is because when I'm on the bike trail, usually I keep it like mode 1, mode 2, around 20 miles an hour, just cruising. But if I go uphill, I need that extra torque, I can put it in mode 3, still keep it below 20, and go up. And that's something else that I want to talk about. Torque. Gosh, you probably can't tell on my mic because I got the windscreen on it. The dead cat. It's windy. Oh my God. Like, really windy. Anyways. So torque. You don't get a lot of torque with like the 48s. You'll have to do some pedaling to get up hills a lot of time. Unless you got some momentum already. Unless you got some momentum already. And then you can get up the hills pretty easily on a 48 volt. But you need momentum and you need some pedaling assistance. Yeah, whatever. Now we get into the 48 to 52 volt. 52 volt is what I'll recommend straight across the board to everyone. Because when you get like a 48 volt, that'd be good maybe your first year or whatever. But that second year or whatever, your next bike, like I said, your first bike won't be your last bike. Your next bike won't be your last bike. But after having a 48, you'll want a 52 just because the low end torque, more power, you'll want it, trust me. Because right now, what I'm riding, check this out. This right here is the Rave GTX. Now, what I ordered was the 20 amp version and just added another battery. So you have the option of this one here at $18.99 or this one here. Check this one out. $23.99 for the dual battery, and that's 28 amp hour. And that's what I'm on right now currently because I added the extra battery. So I ordered the 20 amp hour version, added the battery after I got it, and then now I've got the 28 amp hour version, and I don't have any range anxiety. But I got the bike before they sold out, and I wanted it black. So not only did I want it before they sold out, I wanted black. So they sell these really quick. So follow the link below in the description. Use my coupon code Colorado Adventure for a Rave bike and save even more money while they're on sale. I'm gonna put this in mode 3 up the hill. See what we can get going up the hill. This thing gains momentum up the hill. It's like a 52 volt e-bike that gains momentum up the hill. Amazing. I just love this bike. The tires, the dual suspension, the seat. I will purposely jump on this bike, not only because it gives me everything I want, honestly, with the power. I mean, it does. It gives me everything I want. The brakes are amazing. I feel really safe and comfortable on this bike, even though it is a more powerful 52 volt bike that goes, over 28 miles an hour, over 30 miles an hour. So, I mean, I just feel super safe on it for the reasons of the power it has, the smoothness it has. It's not overwhelming. The seat is super comfortable, so I feel like I'm comfortable the whole time. I'm not going to be like, I just want to get off my bike or whatever. I'm not going to get agitated. I'm going to feel good the whole time. Let them go, because I'm probably faster than the average car. All right, we'll zip up through here. All right, but yeah, I just feel super comfortable. Like I feel like I got enough speed to get out of the way. I feel like I've got enough power to go up hills, but it's not overwhelming to where it's not going to whiskey throttle really out of the way if I pay attention. It still will. That's why I like that thumb throttle too. It's a lot safer to not whiskey throttle this bike as opposed to just grabbing the handle, twisting it, and throwing it up. That's why I like that thumb throttle a lot. I like the regular throttle too, and I actually prefer that. But that is a safe feature, having a thumb throttle. Man, what a great bike. Look at that. Just get kind of ghost pedaling, just getting up that hill. Amazing. So yeah, the 52 volt bikes are incredible. Now my suggestion on amp hours, when you start getting that 52 volt, just while I'm thinking about it, at least get something that's got 20 amp hours, you know, and I think most do. There are like, that Juiced Rip Racer came with like a 15.6. Man, really, just something that has 20. I mean, it got me to Vail and back, you know, I'll be honest with you. It got me to Vail and back, which is pretty cool. But it also worried me sometimes, you know, like if I went uphill, gave it a lot of juice, coming uphill, visiting, you know, a friend or something, and then going back downhill, I just have to kind of coast, put it in a low gear to get home, and just know I was going to get home early in the morning or whatever. So anyways, get something that's got like 20 amp hours if you're getting a 52 volt, you know, and the Rave GTX 20 amp hour will give that to you. So anyways, there's that. Woo! A little chilly. Probably should have brought my jacket, but whatever. It definitely is a little cooler up here in Vail than what it is back home in Avon. But we're also going decently fast, so there's that. So yeah, 52 volt will get you everywhere and anywhere. And you know, in these P settings, you know, you could lock and unlock these bikes. Most of them come locked. And you can adjust the P settings to where your bike can only go 28 miles an hour or whatever is legal in your area. Most is like 20 pedaling or 20 throttle, then anything above 20 to 28 needs to be pedal assist. But as long as you're not being a pain in someone's ass, like the law, or being obnoxious doing wheelies, speeding or whatever, you're not gonna have to worry about it. I've done this for years, and just don't be obnoxious and stupid. That's all. Anyways, enough of that. I'm going through here. I actually work on a home up through here, so I'm gonna go check on it while I'm up here, because I told the property manager, aka Mary, one of my best friends in the world I work for. It's my side gig. I do property management. Check that out. I'm gonna put a new house up here. These are multi-million dollar homes that I work on, like 20, 30 million dollar homes. I'm not joking. Check this out. Movie stars. This place is going right up the hill. That's why I like that 52 volt. But yeah, the 52 volt just gives you that extra oomph. And that's Gore Range back there. I don't know if you could see it from the camera, but that's gorgeous today. We are just cruising up this hill. I don't know if all the snow's gone yet. I don't know. I'll find out. Looks like it is. All right. Looks like we could go through. Hot dog. howdy. Let's go check on this house. But the 52 volt, as you can see there, just cruising. I've got 28 amp hours, no range anxiety, plenty of power, plenty of range, 1,000 watt motor. It just checks all the boxes to me. So that's my choice. It is just gorgeous today. Gorgeous. All right. We're gonna whip you around through here. We got FedEx going to drop something good off. Ain't for me though. I love these houses. Hey, check out this pad here. I love this one. It's called Beaver Dam Road. I wonder why. But this house is just gorgeous. I mean, anyways, beautiful. Beautiful. We'll go up and around. Just want to show you some of these beautiful homes through here that I love so much. Through Vale. And zip it through here. We're gonna go up Forest now. These are the homes that I kind of work on. And there's a house up here, it's just like $40 million home. And it's crazy. I'll take a little peek at it while we're up here. But these 52 volt e-bikes are just amazing, and my favorite ones because they climb the hills, throttle only, some major steep ones maybe. That's just really cool. Check that out. That's actually snow melt coming down from the top of the mountain and filling up Gore Creek right now. So that's super, super duper cool. But yeah, like the 52 volts, you can go uphill and even the super, super steep, you could pedal and it's still good. So there's that. All right. From 52 to 60 volt. 60 volt, now we're talking like maybe getting a little bit, you know, out of the legal spiegel as far as being able to use legally. But man, honestly, like I said, if you just follow the rules, you know, pedal, go slow, you know, in the places you need to, and where you could pop it and go a little fast and do that too. Anyways. But the 60 volts. I'm going here and check on this house real quick and make sure everything is good to go. These houses are super cool. I'll show you kind of just around what this is. It's one of the homes I take care of. The pool's covered up. There's the hot tub. You can see the pool is covered up. I usually do a lot of cleaning of that in the summer. The hot tub is on. Everything on. Look at the view of this. This is probably where I'm going to spend my birthday, is at this house, and invite a couple really cool friends over to party, because they rent this house out, and me being like one of the guys that take care of it, I get to have my birthday here. So how cool is that? I can't show you the code to this because that's just not cool. There we go. I'm gonna check on the house, make sure everything's good. I do a lot of checking on houses, but you can see this is kind of like when people rent, the kind of thing that they do. Yeah, it's a super nice house. They just put in new windows and stuff. It's been around since like I think the 60s. Everything is good. Make sure there's no creepy people in here is basically that's all I'm doing. Everything is good. 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 I actually did a ceiling repair here. Need to mount that light back up. Anyways, check that out. All right. Let's get a going. Everything good on Forest. And check that out. That's like a gondola up at Vail with the little Vail symbol on it. That's just super cool. You go around, it's got like a really cool deck and everything, and super cool. Anyways, no one cares. You got to put the furniture out there, big table, all that stuff will be coming up. Summertime. I will be pressure washing, leaf blowing, all the magic things. But look at that. Would you look at that? That bike is freaking just beautiful, man. I love this bike. I'm gonna color it up. I'm gonna get some white pedals. I'm gonna get some blue handles for it and just give it that old Honda CBR look with that red, white, and blue. Cool. All right. Let's hop on this puppy and let's go up through the village a little here and cruise around. We'll knock that down to mode 2. But check out this house. This house right here is like $40 million. $40 million. I mean, that thing's been like in magazines. There's even a whole YouTube show about that. I'll put the link below about that house, actually. Below, as well as these bikes. Now, let's talk about the 60 volt bike, or 60 volt bikes. While we cruise down here through the village. These houses, man, that driveway. And then the house looks like the driveway. Crazy. Anyways, the Arc at Vail. Okay. That thing needs to be tore down yesterday. God, I love these brakes. But 60 volts. 60 volts is just basically, to me, showing off to your friends, going on group rides, maybe hauling a lot of material, like to jobs, like a work type e-bike, camping, hunting, things of that nature. Go around this way. Just something that's going to have a lot of torque and a lot of power. There's a lot of different versions of these bikes. Hub motor wise, there's the geared versions, like your wired freedoms. And then there's your inline hub motors, like the Goat power bikes, like I got in the Power Goat. Just two different type of motors. They run a little different, but with the controller you could tweak them for sure. Go mode 1. This is the village in Vail. That right there is where they do the GoPro games in the Whitewater Race Series. Down there, they could actually manipulate this and make that a big wave. As you can see, the water is definitely coming up in Boar Creek. Getting ready for that whitewater season. All right, let's cruise on through here. I want to talk more about 60 volts because I got a lot to say. All right. So 60 volt e-bikes, it's a whole nother level, man. You know, you can go, I don't know, you could get on the fence whether that's an e-bike or an e-moped or whatever it is, an e-motor bike. You can call it a number of things. To me, it's an e-bike at 60 volts. When you get to 72 volts, to me, it's still a bike. It's just an off-road deal totally. 60 to me is basically road, and if you obey the bike laws, you could ride it where bikes go. Just don't speed or whatever, knock it down a mode or have it in a mode. I don't think that should keep you off the bike trails with 60 volt, but walls, I don't ride them. I just try to obey them as much as possible, basically. So, whatever. Right here in front of Riva Bond Express. Good Lord, it is beautiful out here. Anyway, wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Imagine that, we're out here at Riva Bond Express. I work skis, that's Gore Range up through there, but this is Vail. I worked ski school here for years. Almost a decade, actually. I have a lot of good memories here. Super cool. So we're going to do the final chat about 60 volts. And then we're going to wrap up the whole entire talk about these bikes. All of them, all three of them. Especially the 48, 52, and 60. But getting on the 60 volt e-bikes are going to give you that torque and that power that get you out of situations. I mean, I know the wheelies and getting rowdy and fast speed and stuff like that, but I do like the fact that that torque and power of a 52 volt over a 48 volt could get me going a lot quicker and get me out of situations. I really, really like that. Now the top speed, yeah, limit that if you want to, whatever, at 28, whatever, on these bikes if that becomes a thing. Or that's the law of the speed that you could go to or whatever, or that is just the rule, whatever. You don't do it with cars, why are you going to do it on e-bikes? You don't tell me what engine I can put in a car, how fast the car can go, you just tell me how fast I can go in it. So why are you going to do that with e-bikes? It's stupid. It's so stupid. It's such a double standard. And I could say a bunch of things, but anyways, 60 volt to me is if you're a bigger guy, if you're carrying more than one person, if you're hauling stuff, if it's a work bike. Let's say that you're like me and you're a handyman and you're hauling lumber sometimes. Like I make ski signs too, so I'm an artist. I go fishing, I go camping. Let's say that somebody wants to go hunting or carry more camping gear or whatever it may be. They may want a bigger bike than a 52 volt and want to go with the 60 volt. They could also give them more power, more torque, and that kind of thing too, like going uphill. Because you can see I live in a place that has hills and mountains, and going uphill is super important. You know, and those bikes, you know, just make sure they have the right brakes on those things too, because having the right brakes is just as important as having the right motor and right controller. Anyways, 48, 52, 60 volt. If you're deciding on what voltage to go with, I hope this helps a lot. But just be sure that you know your local laws, rules, and regulations, where you could ride these things. I'm not telling you where you can. I'm just telling you that you're probably not going to get in trouble, and it's probably not going to be enforced if you're not being an idiot. And if the thing has pedals on it and actually looks like somewhat of a bike, somewhat, you know, at least pedals and a chain, you know. That's what they look for. The first thing they look for is if that thing has pedals and a chain and looks like something. And they know what Surons look like. So even if you have pedals and a chain on that, they know what Surons. They call Talarias and E-Rides and all these. They call them all Surons. Even the Dirt Goat, that's Suron. But anyway, check it out. The Goat, Power Goat. Here's the link. That is my bike. That's the one that I chose. That's the one that I use. That's my personal bike, actually. That's just kind of like, I wanted a 60 volt bike. I wanted a 48, I wanted a 60 volt, I wanted a 52 volt. And I got the best of all three, in my opinion, from all the categories, from the Bullet X in 48, the GTX, the Rave GTX in the 52, and then this one here, the 60 volt, 50 amp controller. And I've got 20 amp hours of battery on it right now. It will be 40 amp hours of battery. But that's like, you know, camping. That's hauling a lot of work. I do a lot of handyman work, hauling lumber and stuff like that. So that's kind of that bike right there. Colorado Adventure Channel is the code to get up to 10% discount on that bike. That's an amazing bike. So I hope this helps here at the base of Vail, Colorado. I hope this helps. If you're deciding between 48, 52, 60 volt e-bike, which one is best for you? Because I know which one is best for me. That's all three. Because I got a purpose for all three. You know, I do this YouTube channel. So me, you know, purchasing these e-bikes, the 48 volt Bullet X, the 52 volt GTX, the 60 volt Power Goat, those bikes are a purpose. And yes, I am looking at a 72 volt dirt bike as well. It's what I do. It's my YouTube channel. I love it. And just trust me, when I pick these brands that I choose and these brands that I order are brands I believe in, not only because of the quality of these things and how cool they look and the things that they can do, but it's the customer service. And that is super important when you buy these bikes, is having a reputable company that has good financial backing. They're very stable, they're very solid, and they have the parts, and they want to take care of you. Subscribe, leave a comment, hit like if you want to, but please subscribe to my channel. I need more viewers. This is how I do it. This is how I keep going, and it means the world to me. Until our next adventure, this is Chris from the Colorado Adventure Channel. Peace.